Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm filming this video from Oxford in England, which is where I'm originally from. And actually, the most exciting thing about being back in England is the fact that I'm drinking all kinds of international wines. Okay, don't get me wrong, I love South African wine, but I have to admit, I do miss just the sheer range of wines that you can get hold of in England at the supermarket, at restaurants, at bottle shops, and all at affordable prices. Unfortunately, in South Africa, while you can get international wines, you really have to go to a specialist wine merchant, and then they're not exactly the cheapest. Anyway, I'm getting off topic. Today's video is going to be about a very special wine indeed. It's a wine from France, and it's a very old wine. We're going to be talking about and tasting the Chateau 1995. Why is Chateau so special? Well, Chateau is one of the most renowned dessert wines in Bordeaux, and probably even in France and the whole world. Chateau has been making beautiful dessert wines since the 1700s, and it's situated in Bordeaux, like I just mentioned, in an area called Sauternes. Now, you can use the word Sauternes to refer to any dessert wine from the region. The region itself is located in Graves. Graves is on the left bank of Bordeaux, which is more well known for its Cabernet Sauvignon red dry Bordeaux blends. But actually the Graves region is equally famous for its red, white and dessert wines, unlike the rest of Bordeaux, which is mainly famous for its red wines. This dessert wine, it's another thing that makes it special is the fact that the grapes that go into making the wine have been subjected to the Botrytis fungus. So basically what happens is, as the grapes are sitting on the vines, this fungus attaches itself to the skin of the grapes, punctures the skin of the grapes, and lets out a lot of water. This causes them to shrivel up and the sugars in the grape to really concentrate, which lets the wine become sweet. The Botrytis fungus also gives to the wine its own special flavour characteristics. The reason why these wines tend to be a little bit more expensive is because people actually have to go and hand pick the grapes. And in the case of this Chateau there's actually been about 6 hand harvests to really scour the vineyards and make sure every precious little Botrytis grape is picked. Then the wine is pressed 3 times to make the delicious dessert wine, and then Chateau spends about 3 years in oak barrels. Now, Chateau is well known for its ability to age really, really well. I mean, that's why this wine is a 1995 wine, so 21 years old, and it's still drinking wonderfully. So I did mention in the previous video how white wines actually age terribly. The exception to that rule is if it's a dessert wine. So the reason why dessert wines age really well is because of the high sugar concentration. Think about jam. Jam lasts pretty much forever because it's just got so much sugar in it. So while the acidity and the alcohol will diminish in a dessert wine, the sugar actually remains, and also the flavours develop. On to trying our Chateau 1995. The noble white varietals in Bordeaux are actually Sauvignon Blanc and Semillon, so this will be a blend of the two. Let's pop it open. Very long cork. I'm drinking it in this stunning little crystal glass. Usually dessert wine is served in smaller portions just because it's quite sweet, but that won't stop you filling up your glass multiple times. So I actually tried this the other night, and it's one of the most interesting wines I've drunk because every time I took a sniff or a taste, I was just discovering so many new flavours. But actually, the first thing I noticed from smelling this, I was really reminded of a Mai Tai or a Pina Colada, so a rum-based drink. And yeah, it does have a very rum-like smell, so that kind of caramelized, sweet, tropical thing going on. Yeah, and through the palate as well, a lot of orange. So I think a Mai Tai does have an orange component. And a Mai Tai also has amaretto, so almond liqueur. And yeah, there's a great almond liqueurness going on in there as well. I'm actually drinking, it's about 10 in the morning right now, I haven't had breakfast yet, and it's really working. It's kind of like drinking a slightly stronger orange juice, but no, not making me feel queasy at all, whereas I think if I had to drink a dry wine right now, it would be a little harder. And obviously, because it's 21 years old, some of the alcohol will have already mellowed out a bit. So the bottle says it's about 13%, but 21 years later, who knows, maybe it's 10% now. I'm not quite sure about how quickly alcohol actually diminishes. You might hear people saying that old wine doesn't give them hangovers, and they think this is because old wine doesn't contain sulfur. Whereas actually, I have a theory that the reason why old wine doesn't give you hangovers is because there's just less alcohol in it. Anyway, back to the wine. And the beauty of a wine like this is that you can have it with a really wide variety of foods. So one of the most classic pairings of a Sauternes with food is foie gras. So that's a really, really rich goose liver pate. And the umami flavors and the fat lend itself perfectly to the sweet wine. Another wonderful combination is blue cheese, again, very savory thing, and sweet wine. And obviously desserts, perfect with desserts, and apparently as a pre-breakfast kickoff. So obviously this bottle of Chateau 1995 is probably not going to be your kind of go-to wine when you're trying to stick within a budget. So some lovely alternatives from back in South Africa. Ken Forrester does a nice Noble Late Harvest made out of Chenin Blanc. So Noble Late Harvest simply means noble as in noble rot, i.e. Botrytis. Late harvest, the grapes have been harvested late so that the sugars have had enough time to ripen to make the wine wonderfully sweet. De Rendel do a beautiful Noble Late Harvest. I think it's a Noble Late Harvest. It might just be a dessert wine. So that's made from pure Sauvignon Blanc. So as well as the sweet kind of caramelized flavors, you also get this amazing green freshness, which I think is a really interesting component of a sweet wine. And then Lemberg Wine Estate, which are based in Tulbach. So Tulbach is located quite far inland, so it gets very, very hot. And Lemberg do their wine called Sauternes. I can't think off the top of my head what the grapes are. I'll probably put them on the screen. Yeah, another wonderful dessert wine. But, you know, I think a lot of people veer towards dry wines just because you can drink more of them, because drinking a lot of sugar is, yeah, it can make you feel a bit queasy. But once you find that perfect sweet wine, it's actually incredibly moreish. Pretty amazing. Thank you for watching my video, my very short video on the Chateau 1995, located in Bordeaux. And check back on the channel over the next week or so. I'll be filming from Sardinia, hopefully. Please give my video a thumbs up if you liked it. Even better, leave a comment, follow me on Twitter, etc, etc. And I'll see you next time. Bye guys, and happy drinking.